All right. Here it is. I didn't want to cover this originally because it's kind of a heavy topic, and I'm not a tech channel, but Linus Tech Tips, Linus Media Group has been a big part of my tech life growing up, and seeing them face this kind of crisis is kind of sad actually. So to catch everyone up, for those who are not familiar with the situation, Gamers Nexus posted a video exposing the inconsistencies and irregularities in like their thing with ethics on Linus Media Group. So like there were things about inaccuracies in their review videos, and that thing is actually pretty small. Like I can forgive that because if the difference is like like a few frames per second or a few degrees, I don't really mind. And I'm not the type to just base everything on one video anyway. When I look for information, when I look for technical videos, I usually have more than one source, just so that I can compare. I can have an average, because usually everyone has like different results, pretty much. So I can forgive that. But the other thing is the big one that it's the thing that most people are calling out Linus for, which is the issue with billet labs. So what happened was, this is from what I know, because I can't even remember that video, to be honest. So they tested a water block prototype from Billet Labs and ended up using it on a wrong GPU, which then yielded in the wrong results for testing. So and then in a WAN show, Linus addressed it, and the way he did it was a bit arrogant, I'd say. But I can in a part of me understands his reasoning, because basically what he said is it does it really make sense to spend a few more, I mean not a few more, like how I don't forgot, 500 more bucks, 900 more bucks, like does it make sense to spend more money just to retest this? So yeah, that's what he said. And like I guess people got angry about that. Billet Labs probably got angry about that, and there's a lot of miscommunication actually involved. He did make a respond on the LTT forums, I believe. I didn't read it because I was waiting for a video, and like he said a lot of things there, miscommunication, and I don't know, it's just bad, man. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, but when I watch Gamers Nexus video, it kind of came out, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it kind of came out like they had beef with Linus Media Group, kinda, I don't know. But they are like that to like any other company that does bad stuff though. But I don't know, it was just weird because Steve was the one who called Linus when his channel was being hacked. So like we're kind of in a weird situation. But the thing is, like I'm pretty sure Gamers Nexus did not mean for things to go this way, because what happened is the thing is, the internet is harsh, man. Like people on the internet are harsh. Like they don't give a fuck about you or your feelings. They're not gonna give a fuck. They're gonna, if they see something bad, oh, they're gonna burn you down to the ground, bro. And yeah, that's probably one of the reasons that I want to be a VTuber, because even if I do something wrong, like they're never gonna know who my true identity is. Well, they're probably gonna know if they search hard enough, but like yeah, like the internet can be harsh. So I have my own thoughts about this, but I'll save it for later until we watch this video, this response video that they made. So yeah, let's get started. So this is their new CEO. Let's see, Taryn.
I think Luke put it best at the roast a few years ago when he said,
"Why the f*** are you here?"
That's a two-part answer. I'm speaking today because of the recent community outcry demanding change. I'm here because I agree with the community. We do have a lot of work to do. Before we talk about that, while I wish us on better terms, I just want to say I'm very glad to meet you all. I have spent the last couple decades on the corporate side, but my educational background is in computer science. My first role in the tech industry was as the writer at NeoSeeker. My history building gaming PCs goes even further back to when I built a Celeron 300A rig because
this guy was Linus's boss back in NCAX. So like it's kind of cool what kind of relationship they have actually.
Everyone assured me it was guaranteed to overclock to 450 megahertz. I guess my trip didn't really get the memo. In any case, it feels really good to be back on most days. I'm only 6 weeks into the job, but in that time I've seen a lot. I've looked at some budgeting, some team building, and operations. But my main focus has been to be a fly on the wall and gain an understanding of what's going right and what's going wrong. There's a lot of both. I've asked the team to unflinchingly address both the concerns that have been raised and how we intend to fix them, with the money we'll make from our sponsor.
Just kidding. I was asked for unflinching, and here it is. Linus is a human gas molecule. You've been telling him for years, and I've been telling him for years. Staying relevant on YouTube is hard for everyone. But we aren't fighting for survival anymore, and we don't need to run at this pace. In fact, in some ways, it's our efforts to keep doing more and keep doing better that have created our current situation. My background is in managing a pharmacy, where the small details matter a lot. And basically, I agree with the community, so I'm putting my foot down. Effective immediately, all YouTube video production is on pause. And our teams are going to be spending this entire next week focusing on long-term workflow changes to make our content better in a lasting way.
Okay, that's
This means for the first time in over 12 years, LTT will be missing not just one daily upload, but many. But improving to the degree that we want and need is going to take more than a week. So I'll be working with Taryn and Colton to manage our sponsor commitments and the financial hit of both this housekeeping week and a reduction in our LTT upload schedule. At least for
okay, let me just... So the thing is, like, things like this, okay, I'm gonna say something now. Things like this, I think it naturally happens when your company grows, right? Because, you know, there's all this pressure, you know, you have to pump out as many of, you know, your product as much as possible. And QA just, you know, there's a lot of things that slip between the cracks when it comes to QA. So again, I'm not condoning this kind of thing, but the thing is, I just want people to realize that this is normal and it happens to everyone. When you like try to scale up, this will happen eventually. And the way that I think the more important thing is how you respond to it, basically. So I think this is a good step. I'm going to miss the daily videos. But yeah, so let's continue.
Now, while we get our house in order. But before anyone gets concerned that we're going to cut investments into the well-being of our personnel and our future capabilities, I can assure you that I've read the criticisms that we weren't willing to spend $500 to test a product, and as the one that manages the finance, I can tell you that couldn't be further from the truth. Linus made a clear and egregious judgment error regarding retesting a product he felt was impractical. That was wrong, and I've told him so. He allowed his personal feelings on the matter to cloud his judgment. And I want to stress that our organization is committed to our ongoing...
Humans make mistakes, guys. And, you know, that time, Linus wasn't... he was still CEO, I think, that time. And I can hardly imagine, you know, the pressure that he feels all the time being CEO. Because I've been, you know, I've told you in another video, I've run a company before myself. So, you know, it was a small startup, but there's a lot of pressure and you can make bad choices sometimes. It happens.
Investments in making our content better, and we will do better as a team. Why don't I let our chief money spender take it from here?
So, okay, another thing is, also if they're gonna cut their... I'm gonna miss the daily videos, man, but okay, let's be real here. I think I had thought of another solution actually. What if they can't, you know. I was thinking maybe what if they just don't do technical videos anymore, but that doesn't make sense because Linus spent a lot of money on the labs, right? Yeah, so no, that's not it. The thing is, even though I started like watching Linus for his technical videos, it was really the crazy stuff that they do that got me hooked. Like, you know, stuff like Scrapyard Wars and just crazy videos in general, because that's what YouTube is mainly popular for, right? Like the crazy entertaining stuff. Like I don't, no offense, but like watching Jay-Z 2 Cents or Gamers Nexus or any other like other YouTubers that produce purely technical. Well, it's not purely, but mostly technical videos. They're kind of boring to watch. I don't mean that in a demeaning way. It's just that I like Linus Tech Tips for the entertaining stuff, not for the technical stuff. So I was thinking, what if you just stop doing technical reviews? But I guess it doesn't make sense because they just spent so much money on the lab, right? So yeah, that's not gonna happen, I guess. And I don't think I don't think Linus wants to stop making technical videos anyway. But that's just my personal thoughts.
Hi, I'm Gary, head of labs. First off, we've made some mistakes, too many. We're hoping that it's how we deal with them moving forward that will define who we are. And regardless, it's clear that we need to serve you better. So our team will be spending our week publishing living documents for our testing standards and opening them up to feedback from the community.
So it's probably going to be 2 weeks or more with no Linus Tech Tips videos, huh? Yeah. Oh my god, that's going to be so weird. But I think this is good because their situation is kind of like the Kai Cenat situation. And with situations like those, I think it's better if you like don't show up for a while and then let it die down. But of course, it doesn't mean you're not going to do anything to better yourself. But yeah, like I think in a way this is a good choice. So I guess there won't be a WAN show as well this weekend. Oh my god, like I don't know, man. Damn. I hope they get I think they will get out of this pretty much. But it's kind of sheesh. I'm pretty sure Gamers Nexus already had that video prepared a long time ago, but they waited for LTX to finish. I mean, I guess it makes sense because they really never intended to like escalate the situation this much. I'm pretty sure. And I don't know how this is going to affect. I wish they still have like crazy videos because that's what I want. That's what I watch Linus Tech Tips for, not the technical stuff, not the technical stuff at all.
And our peers in the industry, should they wish to participate. We will also task part of the team with going back through every video with Labs data to ensure accuracy, make full corrections, and if there are any fundamental issues with the workflow design or results, pull or replace that video outright. I don't agree with every criticism that's been leveled at my team, but for my part, I need to own what we've done wrong and lay out our action plan for how to move forward.
Okay.
Before I do that, one point I do need to address here is that Linus misspoke when he said we retest for every video. We retest for every project. When we use the same data for our RX 7600 and RTX 4060 Ti videos, we knew in advance that these cards would release 2 days apart and designed a broad test suite that accounted for all the numbers we would need to make those 2 videos and ran everything at once with no BIOS or driver changes. In fairness to Linus, the project to video ratio is normally 1-to-1, but the devil's in the details. Now, let's talk about what's coming. We will release our current Markbench harnesses as open source items so that the community can audit the code around our test integrations. We will do a vlog style video on Floatplane about our testing from start to finish so you can see how the sausage is actually made. We will open a new community forum post asking for transparency suggestions, and more importantly, we will follow up. We will start placing our testing project number in the credits so we are always open about the data set that was used for the benchmark results. And there is a lot more still to come, ranging from test variation percentages per workbench to each benchmark we utilized in the videos, among others. It's going to be a busy week of not making videos.
Same goes for us. I'm James, head of the writing department. We are extremely grateful for everything the lab has done and continues to do to make our jobs easier. But the actual testing is not the biggest source of our recent struggles. It's the human factor. There have been times when an internal video review caught an incorrect graph, resulting in new versions of the graph being created.
Okay.
Only for those new graphs to not be put in the video.
Oh, okay, that
Just
happens.
about every error that has
So
appeared.
I've said this like earlier, right? Like these things happen. Like human error happens, and because I don't know if is it a good idea. Like if you make something, and I don't know, man. Like I guess it is better to pull down the video, right? But I think it depends more on how big the discrepancies are, right? I don't know. It's hard to say, but yeah, like this, I'm pretty sure there are things that are happening in the background that we don't know. Like, and I think Linus does say in some of his videos that, you know, they rushed this or something. They didn't have time. He does say that, right? Like, I don't really watch a lot of his technical videos. That's the thing, because, you know, the only time I watch technical videos, like watch, is when I'm buying something. That's the thing. Like, if I'm not buying something, I don't really care, because who cares? and my upgrade cycle is every 5 years. So I did just recently upgrade my computer, and I did watch Linus Tech Dev videos also about, you know, the 4070 Ti, because my card is a 4070 Ti, and they kind of did coincide with every other like reviews out there. But whatever, let's keep watching.
In a video in the past year has directly resulted in a process change designed to prevent that specific issue from ever happening again. But this kind of problem pops up, create a new process, whack-a-mole, isn't working. We'll be using our time to take feedback from our team on all of our processes and comb through all of our pending projects for areas where we can improve as we move forward with our reduced upload schedule. You'll see some of these videos go up during our time off. We already have multiple videos that are scheduled for release, but my main message to the team is that we want to spend this time working on interdepartment communication and cleaning up our house. What we won't be doing is sanitizing things too much. We know that some of our best videos are centered around Linus and other members of the team just goofing around with
Exactly. This is what I'm talking about. It's not. This is the content that I want to watch from them, not the, you know, how many frames per second is the 4090 output. I don't care about that stuff.
and having fun. That is not going to stop. But others, like GPU and CPU releases, certainly require all the rigor we can muster. Those launches don't happen as often these days, so it will take some time before you see the full payoff of our continuous improvement. But it has already started happening. Not only did the community love our 4060 review, but our team found it less stressful to put out. Have we had a flawless victory? No. But since these last reviews, we've onboarded a dedicated visualization person whose full-time job it is to create graphs that are correct, digestible, and accessible. We've done serious development.
So they've already been making these changes. It just hasn't caught up yet. I think that's what's happening. Like, I can understand that. Like, you know, it's not, when you're trying to make a change, it doesn't happen instantly. And especially for a company this big, sorry, company this big, like there's a lot of how do I say it? There's a lot of parts trying to move the gears, right? Trying to move the wheel.
On our automatic specs database thing so that our visualizations pull the correct info in every time. And we'll soon be announcing the details of a new crowdsourced fact-checking system for both LTT and TechQuickie so that our content's correctness satisfies even our most discerning community members.
I'm Ed, head of our production team. We have some of the most comprehensive documentation and processes in the company, from automations to keep project information accurate, to communication procedures, to standards for how loud videos can be. Those systems have helped with the video edit side of things, but I've seen some examples where we've failed to see the forest for the trees and allowed well-edited but erroneous content to slip through the cracks. So
Exactly.
for our part, we'll be spending our time looking at how we can improve communication.
And the thing is, this is gonna keep happening, guys. Like, people don't realize it, but mistakes are gonna keep happening no matter what. But yeah, like, I don't know.
Help the team address anything that seems off as soon as possible. A personal task.
I mean, I guess if they do slow down on their upload schedule, I guess it could minimize it, right? But I don't know. Like, man, how is it gonna be like every other day? Holy shit, that's gonna. I'm gonna miss the everyday Linus Tech Tips video. I'm gonna miss it.
We'll be putting the finishing touches on some.
But wait, this relates to what I said in my previous video, and my Final Fantasy video, right? Like, at the start, I'm gonna pump out as many low effort videos as much as possible, and then when I get my audience, I'm gonna like slow down a bit and like produce more high quality videos, high effort videos. So this is what Yvonne said earlier, right? So like, yeah, like I think I'm thinking about the right strategy here. And Linus didn't start doing everyday videos as well. Like, was it? I can't really remember, but yeah, it wasn't. He didn't do like everyday videos at the start, and then it transitioned into that because he had to pay people, and then now I don't know how their financial structure is going to be right now, but I hope they figure it out.
Cool ways we can make small edits that avoid the slapdash text on screen corrections whenever possible. As for how we catch those bugs, that's not my department, so I'm throwing it over to Nick.
Hold on. I'm mostly on the product side. LTTstore.com. What? Somebody had to say it. But the theme of today's video is transparency and accountability. You might not see me in video credits, but I still serve as a last line of defense in reviewing most LTT videos before they are published.
Okay.
I typically check for security links and inappropriate or NSFW jokes, but there are times when I catch a factual error or a weird graph that doesn't really tell the full story. To be clear, we also have checks for technical aspects from our writing team, and in some cases, the lab, but our processes for ensuring those checks happen and following up these findings haven't been perfect, and our corrections are often made quickly. So while we take this time to reflect...
The thing is, it's never gonna be perfect. It never will be, especially if they keep growing, they keep hiring new people. Yeah, it's gonna be hard.
I'll be focused on helping build a set of guidelines for our pre-release reviews and trying to set up a system that allows our team to take a finer look at every aspect of our videos, every single time. And maybe with time, everyone here will be so aligned with our mission that my input is no longer needed, and I can focus my full attention on making little widgets that you don't need, but definitely want. Like this retro-themed screwdriver.
Nice.
Errors in our supporting assets like tables and graphs chip away our credibility. So continuing to improve our process issues to minimize errors will remain a top priority under my leadership. I guarantee there will be future mistakes. We are human.
Exactly.
Next week,
there will be mistakes. It's unavoidable. It happens.
we'll be creating and publishing a clear policy for correction handling, and I'll be working with our community management team to be prompt and transparent.
I think the best thing. I think YouTube needs to do something as well. This is what I think, because when you try to make an edit to a video, you have to take it down. They do have an editor, but it's not, like, I wish we could just straight up replace a video, keep all the stats, right? I wish we could just do that. But I guess I think I also understand the technical side of it. Like, it's gonna be hard to like record the stats if you just straight up are able to replace the video with another one. It's hard, guys. This is kind of hard, but yeah, that was an idea. It was a nice try for me, but I guess it doesn't work, right? Because if you've ever like looked into the YouTube creator dashboard, you see a lot of data there. Like you'll see like a timestamp per timestamp data. This part of the video, there's a lot of views, and if you suddenly replace the video, it becomes inaccurate, right? I guess that's why you can't just go ahead and replace a video. But their editor does allow you to cut some stuff. It doesn't allow you to add some stuff. So I don't know. Maybe YouTube can also add some feature, like a correction feature or something, where they can like add like or replace parts of the video or even the whole video. I don't know, that's just my own thoughts.
Transparent with corrections are as visible as possible. I think what happened with the Polish mouse is a perfect example of the kind of breakdown that should never happen again. Last Friday, Linus was notified of the issue a couple hours before the wine show. where he discussed the errors of the video on short circuit and apologized unequivocally. But while we recut the video to remove the misleading information, no one closed the loop and dealt with the tone deaf and frankly unapologetic correction in the pinned comment. Our mission is to get the information to the community, which includes having a degree of humility about our mistakes, even if it makes us look less than perfect. The other side of my job as CEO is keeping the lights on, ensuring our staff is well taken care of, and putting dollars into some fun stuff, like watering and cooling a PC with a pool. And that's through sponsorships, affiliate programs, paid subscriptions, or merchandise sales. One thing that's not negotiable with me, ownership, or the business team on sponsored content is we need to maintain control of the creative. I was on a call with a potential partner recently. They asked for a cream puff piece. What's a cream puff piece? That's when they're like, how much money do we have to give you just so that you tell the story that we want? Before I can jump in and say anything, just because I'm in shock at this point in time, Nick turns over and says, no, absolutely not. I started laughing a little bit. I just said, hey, Nick, there's probably a better way to handle that, where we could just soften up a little bit. But the truth is, I don't disagree with them. We've had many rocky periods with sponsors where they're not happy with the content or the conclusions, and because they couldn't affect the editorial bent. This has and continues to have significant negative impacts on revenue. I think we're pretty transparent on how, where, and why we make our money. And one of our strategic pillars is to make sure that we can maintain editorial independence. This has included multiple...
That's very hard to balance because, you know, if you're giving money to someone, you're gonna want things to like go your way, right? And I don't know. It's gonna be hard to find sponsors that will allow that. There's not a lot of them.
Saying goodbye and good luck to sponsors ranging from thousands of dollars a year to hundreds of thousands of dollars a year over remaining independent and doing right by the LTT community. While we were deciding if we were a good fit for each other, I was very pleased to see the integrity of the team here based on the deals that these guys have walked away from. I think one thing that we've done a poor job of, however, is publishing these standards where a community can see them. That's something I'll be improving upon.
And so will I. I'm Colton, the head of business development, which includes departments like HR, procurement, logistics, events, and sales and marketing. Sponsorships specifically are an area where Linus has more limited oversight than he used to. And in my opinion, we haven't done a great job conveying that. It's up to my team to vet incoming sponsor requests and deal with issues that you, our viewers, have with our brand partners. One way we do that is using our LMG sponsor discussion subforum on linustechtips.com to create a dialogue between our business team and the community. It's obvious from some of the issues we're seeing that we need to be more communicative when we're actively working with brands to rectify issues. Most content creators can attest to the fact that brands sometimes take forever to respond to messages or address problems. A perfect example is Anchor not removing Linus Tech Tips from their Amazon pages, even though we've been asking to be removed since our partnership with them ended months ago. We work hard to push for accountability, but we also understand that these businesses are either large with lots of moving parts or small with limited people.
That's the thing also. Linus Media Group might seem big, but in the greater like scheme of things, they're still small. They're still very small, like compared to Asus, Nvidia, all of them. They're still ants, basically.
Resources. So things can take time, but you shouldn't be waiting in the dark. It's critical for us to get the sponsorship piece right because real talk, you guys are the boss. If you're not happy with brands we work with, you won't engage with our sponsors, and suddenly we won't be able to support all the cool stuff we're currently able to do. Moving forward then, you can expect weekly updates in the subforum on issues that need addressing, and we'll also include an up-to-date list of product verticals that are off limits for our channels. We hope this will enable us to make better calls consistently from here on out, all while maintaining our long-time commitment to transparency. Finally, I want to apologize to Billet Labs for auctioning off their monoblock at LTX 2023. Our processes failed when
Okay, let's read this. We originally said you could keep it because we thought it would be good for you to have it for future builds. It wasn't so you could sell it, whether for charity or not. Then when Linus clearly didn't like it, we asked for it back and you agreed. That was prototype. We're a very small company. Do you plan to reimburse us for the money cost? You agreed to send it back and we planned our finances accordingly. This is not okay at all. Okay, miscommunication happened. We ended up auctioning off the monoblock and for charity. The good news is that it isn't just sitting on a shelf. We just need a phone number for shipment and we'll be sending the... I said you could keep it because we thought... Okay, so this is the big issue. Let me understand this a bit. Let me digest this. So... We asked for it back and you agreed. What did they mean when Linus clearly didn't like it? Oh, okay. That was a prototype work. Plant the rainbows, just you agreed to send it back. We plant our finances squirrel. It's not okay at all. Ooh. I mean, yeah, like I said earlier, there's miscommunication happening, and can't they just buy the thing back? Can't they just buy it back? Is it already sold? It's already sold, right? They're auctioning out an auction to charity LTX. The good news is that it isn't just sitting on a shelf. So this was the message first, and this was the reply, right? 1812. What is 1812? They're all August 10, the same day. This is a reply. Okay, this is a reply. That's true. Okay. We just need phone number for the shipment. Wait, I'm confused. Like, maybe I should rewatch the video. Like, why are they? Is it for a 3090 Ti? I didn't really pay attention to that video. Like, Jesus. Anyway, let's just keep going.
I was selecting items to include in the charity auction. But then it was compounded because when the issue was brought up to me via email, even though I replied 2 hours later,
okay, here it is. Hey, Felix, our team heard internally regarding the monoblock. Please shoot over an invoice and we'll get this paid up. Okay. Okay, this is good.
apologizing and offering to pay for the component, I forgot to actually include our contact in that email. So.
Oh. Sheesh. So, this is what I'm talking about, guys. Mistakes like this could happen because, oh my god. Maybe, so how did this issue come to be anyway? Like, did the guys at Billet Labs like go to like Gamers Nexus and hey, you know, what if, this is like, I'm gonna say something about this, okay? Like, if you have, so let's bring this down to like, a more smaller level. Like, let's say you have a fight with your girlfriend or your wife or your husband, etc. If you have a problem, you should probably communicate better. You should probably go talk to your wife or your husband, not to someone else. That's my opinion, guys. Like, I think the problem here is, you know, Billet Labs, they didn't receive the email because Colton forgot to like CC them, and maybe they thought, oh, they're ignoring us, we're gonna report this to like Gamers Nexus, right? And then I think that's what really started everything. They should have just communicated properly, I think. Let's rewatch that. There's no date. Oh man, I wish there was a date so I can like you know, prove my point. Because maybe this was after. This should be after, right? After that other email. So, but the thing, this is not, there's another issue because that thing was a prototype, right? So like the other issue is that it was a prototype and it could potentially be copied by whoever bought it. And oh boy, how do I, so hard to, again, I'm trying to like, it might look like I'm trying to defend Linus Media Group, but the thing is, this could happen to literally anyone, not just them. So like, I'm trying to see this in like a different light because everyone is pretty much dead set that Linus Media Group is, you know, fucking things up. Like, they can't be forgiven. Like I said, the internet is unforgiving, very unforgiving. So like, I'm trying to shed some light on what might have actually happened here. So yeah, like, I think that's really the problem. Like, Billet Labs and, you know, Linus Media Group, they didn't really communicate very well, and, you know, like, Billet Labs like had to like talk to someone else, and that pretty much escalated everything. It's what I think.
Pay for the component, I forgot to actually include our contact in that email. So it went to our procurement team instead of Billet Labs. Side note, that same team, God bless them, didn't ask our event team who won the silent auction items and proceeded to email everyone asking. We don't need any of that. Certainly not for tax purposes. I clearly need to spend some of my week training the team, unless I actually get fired for real this time. Moving forward, we'll be implementing
don't fire Colton. No.
a more rigid process for separating items that need to go back and which ones we'll be holding on to for future testing.
This might ring a little hollow, coming from one half of the WAN Show team that brought you Trust Me Bro and the privateering incident, among others, but we need to be better about our communication. Now, I have no intention to kill the silly humor or be less open with people. I don't want anything to be less fun, but we do need to be respectful and conscious of the impact of our words. We should be proud of the work that we do, but we shouldn't negatively compare ourselves to our fellow tech reviewers. When issuing corrections, we need to apologize. We need to respect people's time and their money. I said after the last round of this that you don't win by screaming loudly or dramaing hard. You win by fixing problems, improving, and becoming a hard target. We're still up a lot, and we need to own that, fix it, and move on, not be defensive or shirk blame. That being said, I'm not really on the production side of things these days. What my teams and I are working hard on is to support the other teams in other ways. Reintegrating it to LMG has been somewhat terrifying. One of my team's jobs is to take over management of the infrastructure, and while I have brought an experienced team member into the fold, it needs a lot of work. So far, we've mostly just
That's what I was talking about. Every time you bring someone in that's new, you have to reorient him. I've been through this, guys, because even though I had only a startup, people come and go a lot, and I've had to re-explain everything, this and that, and they do fuck up, and I can't really blame them, because especially when we're under the heat of things, or when we're under pressure and we're trying to pump out the product as fast as possible. That's just it's hard, guys.
And focused on documenting what we even have. And most of our initial steps beyond that will be improving overall stability rather than flashy video-worthy projects. Any production interruptions due to shoddy infrastructure.
I still honestly prefer the flashy projects because this is YouTube, man. That's what's fun. That's what's fun about it. I hope they don't slow down on the crazy flashy projects. I really hope so.
Add additional burden to the other teams, and our goal is 6-9.
So I wonder though, I'm pretty sure they already have videos scheduled for next week probably. So I wonder if they're gonna post anything next week, because they're not gonna be producing any videos, but they already have something that's already edited, right? So they should still be posting something, I guess.
We'll also continue to maintain and develop our inventory system, which, with better processes, should be able to help keep things like Billet's prototype from being mishandled, misplaced, and misused in the future. And the foundational work we're doing on reliable data management and storage should enable teams like the editors and...
The thing is, I don't think they mishandled it because Billet Labs was small. I'm pretty sure this could happen to Asus, Nvidia. Pretty sure this has happened probably to their test cards or something, or Intel test CPUs. But I think this was just a really unfortunate timing. I think this is what it is. It's just a really unfortunate timing that kind of had to happen. Because, man, I'm feeling so many emotions from this whole thing.
And the engineering folks in the lab to move faster and more confidently with lower risk of errors, thanks to new tools like our specs database. Among my other unmentioned and unrelated responsibilities is keeping Linus from driving off various cliffs, which I have failed at a number of times.
And let's face it, he's gonna fail again. Hey,
that's true. Linus is just human, guys. He's gonna keep failing. I don't know. I don't really see him as an arrogant person, to be honest. I think it's just the way he speaks, and he's just more outspoken about things. I don't think he's arrogant at all. someone can look or feel arrogant by the way they speak, but sometimes it doesn't really necessarily, mean that they are arrogant. I've met many people in my life, and I can really say that's true.
I'm chief vision officer now, but realistically, I'm not going to be able to hide behind my recent demotion here. I was the one at the head of the company for each and every mistake that our community has rightly brought to our attention. And once again, I made things worse by allowing myself to respond.
Okay, to this one. Okay, maybe now it's time to read it. Okay, let's just read it really quick. There won't be a big one talking about this or anything. I've already said, and I've done so privately. To Steve, I expressed that he didn't go through proper journalism in creating this piece. He has my email and number, along with could have asked me for context that may have proven to be valuable, like the fact that we didn't sell them all black, but rather auction charity due to miscommunication, and the fact that while we haven't sent payment yet, we have already agreed to compensate Built Labs for the cost of their. So this is what I'm talking about. Like, if I were Steve, if I were Gamers Nexus, I would probably confirm things with LMG first, right? So I think I don't wanna blame Gamers Nexus, but they do have a fault in this. Like, I think they do. Like, right? Like, if I were the journalist, I would confirm with the other party first before I report on something. There are other issues, but I've told him that I won't be drawn into a public sniping match over this, and that I'll be continuing team media when, if he's ready to do so, I'll be ready. Okay, to my team and my CEO's team, but realistically I was at home for all these errors, so I need to own it. I stress the importance of diligence in our work because so many eyes on us. We are going through some growing pains. We've been very public about them in the interest of transparency. It's clear we have some work to do on internal communication. We have already been doing a lot of work internally to clean up our process, but these things take time. Rome wasn't built in a day, but it's no excuse for softness. Now for my community, all I can say is the same thing as I always say. We know we're not perfect. We wear imperfection on our sleeves in the interest of ensuring that we stay accountable to you. But it's sad and unfortunate when this transfer gets wrapped into a bad thing. The Labs team is hard at work and creating processes and tools to generate data that will benefit all consumers. A work in progress that is very much not done, that we've communicated needs to be treated as such. Do we have notes under some videos? Yes, it's because we are striving for transparent improvement. Yeah, what we're doing hasn't been in many years, if ever. Yeah, what we're doing hasn't been okay, if ever, and we would make much a larger correction if merited it. Listing the wrong amount of cash on the table for CPU review is sloppy, but given that our conclusions are drawn based on our testing, not the spec sheet, it doesn't materially change the recommendation. So this is what I was talking about. Like, if the discrepancy is like so small, like I don't think they need to like retest really, because if the conclusion is the same anyway, and if you like compare it with other reviews out there, it's not going to be exactly the same too. There's going to be some discrepancies. So I don't know. Okay, where were we? That doesn't mean these things don't matter. We've set KPIs for our writing labs team around accuracy, and we are continually installing new checks and balances to ensure that things continue to get better. If you haven't seen the improvement, frankly, I wonder if you're really looking for it. And okay, it does sound a bit arrogant here, but it is true. Their videos are improving. And like I said, it's because there's this mob mentality with people on the internet. Well, not just people on the internet, like humans in general. Like, when they, how do I explain it? When they see when they see a mob of people stepping on a person per se, they're gonna join in. Like, it's like the Kai Cenat thing, guys. It's just exactly the same thing as the Kai Cenat thing, just in slightly different way. Oh my god, but I can see where he's coming from here. I can totally see where he's coming from. The thoughtness that we managed on our last Untitled GPU video is getting really incredible given the limited time we have for these embargoes. I'm really excited about what we future hold. With all of that said, I still disagree with the video, not to show with the return, which I've already is an accuracy issue. It's more like just I read the room wrong. We could have retested it with perfect accuracy, but to do so properly, accounting for which cases. Okay, is he gonna scroll down?
It.
Oh, he didn't scroll down. I mean, I kind of want to read it now. Can I read it? The full. Kind of want to read that now, but. So, I won't read it. Okay, I won't read it. But judging from that, it doesn't really sound that bad. I think people are just blowing it out of proportion. And this happens every time on the internet. Because, you know, a lot of people on the internet just have nothing better to do. They have nothing better to do and like just shit on people, right? Like this could have been handled a lot better, to be honest. Like I think everyone is at fault here, like Gamers Nexus, Linus Media Group, and the community. Everyone's at fault here. Like if you analyze it in that way, like, oh my god, what is this? It's kind of turning into a joke now. Like Billet Labs too, they're at fault too, right? Because they're oh no, this is so stupid. I feel bad for making this video now. Like, what is this?
And I made things worse by allowing myself to respond emotionally. It's honestly really hard when people take an internal process error and then they run that all the way to Linus is a thief.
Exactly. This is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about, guys. Like, people blow things out of proportion, and Linus is just human. And if you're reading this shit, like, you're gonna blow up, man. Like, even me, I'm probably gonna blow up. Like, okay, I've been under this kind of thing before. It was a different situation, but I did sort of blow up as well. I posted something on social media. It wasn't received poorly though. Like, it was well thought out. I laid out everything, but and then after that I just got mad, and then yeah, like the situation just died out anyway. But you know, I can understand Linus, like seeing this kind of thing. This is the problem. Like, Gamers Nexus should have thought about this. Like, really, they should have thought about this. I'm pretty sure they knew this would have happened. Oh my god.
And wants to auction someone else's intellectual property to the highest bidder, or accuses me of trying to brush something under the rug just because I do think it's important to get all the details before declaring me to be a low-down liar, straight-up piece of shit. We were slow shipping back the GPU that Billet Labs sent us. There's no way around it. That's our bad. But the delay in communication, the one that prompted the post that you guys just saw, it was less than 2 business days. The second that I was made aware of the situation, on the 14th, I emailed Billet Labs and I explained what happened. I even included Colton's attempt at apologizing and offering, no questions asked, full compensation for their stated value of the product.
There we go. There we go, guys. Like, I'm right. I was right. I was right all along. This was a big miscommunication thing. Why didn't just Billet Labs, like, you know, oh my god. Again, I'm not trying to excuse their actions. I'm just saying this situation could have been handled better, way better than what's happening right now. Like, because a lot of people on the internet are trolls. People on the internet are trolls, guys. Oh my god, the trolls are so happy. The trolls are so happy about this, and I think I'm not gonna say Gamers Nexus or Billet Labs, but yeah, they did enable this. They enabled this. I'm sorry to say it, but they enabled this. This shouldn't have happened at all.
Which happened on the 10th, before we were under any pressure to do so, and without Colton even bothering to check with me or Yvonne before just saying, go for it. He knows that our internal policy is to do the right thing. So he tried, bless him. I guess his job is safe for another day. And sorry, I guess I've actually gotten a little bit emotional here again. So I'm going to stop there.
I can't really blame Colton as well because, like I said, they're like small parts in this big moving machine, and anyone could fuck up. Literally anyone. Like, it's not just all the weight isn't really on Colton here. Like, anyone could make that mistake,
because
and could have resulted in the same exact thing.
Whatever's being said about me and whatever's being said about the team should never have allowed my feelings to distract from any valid criticism of our work. My decision, for example, to not bother retesting the monoblock, that was obviously wrong, and my lame response on the forum was a huge and unnecessary blunder. I owe you guys better, and I'm sorry. For my part, first, I'm going to be working through the other members of the exec team for any crisis communication moving forward. And second, I'm going to spend my week working with the other teams to develop a system of processes that will help our company fulfill my vision of being a world-class technician.
They should do another outing. The one where Luke got I remember their was it their first? No, it was their second outing. They did an outing before. They had a video about it where Luke was mad. Like, it was a team building kind of thing. Yeah, I still remember that, but it's just funny. It's not really related to this, but yeah.
The organization. I'm also going to be spending my week just refocusing, guys, on what matters most, which is bringing you guys the best damn content that we can make.
Yes, that's it. Let's
over
go.
10 years. Good Lord, it's been almost 15. But I still love tech. I love my team, and even though our relationship's a little rocky right now, I love this community and everything that it stands for. None of that has changed, and none of it is going to.
Let's
During my
go.
interview, one line from Linus that stood out to me was, I need somebody to come in who I know will be respectful of my life's work. That's when the gravity of what he was asking for dawned on me for the first time. I'm by no means influencer or social media guy, but suddenly I am accountable not only to Linus and Yvonne and the entire staff at LMG, but most importantly to the entire LMG audience. I'm fortunate to be inheriting a wonderful team that is passionate and has a ton of energy, who shares the same goal. We celebrate our wins together, and when we make mistakes, we also share the responsibility. I'll be coaching the team on the kinds of deep state corporate stuff that I think I'm reasonably good at. Budgeting, team building, relationship management, business development, operational processes. All things I consider to be essential life skills rather than the tactics of some sort of weird Illuminati conspiracy. We need to be a more well-oiled machine with better accountability as we've gotten more complicated internally with how technical, writing, editing teams all have to coordinate. There are still going to be deadlines, due dates, and time-limited goals that we still need to drive towards, but the how of all this obviously needs more polish. I planned these topics to be covered in internal conversations over the coming weeks, but instead, I'm talking to you about it during this on-the-job experience of what it's like to work at a YouTube company. For all our warts, the team has worked hard to build up trust in the community and share the joy and the passion that we all have for tech. So I do not take for granted the responsibility and stewardship that comes along with this position. And I welcome continued constructive feedback. Thank you all for holding us accountable. I feel ready for the challenge and ready for this message from our sponsor.
Just kidding, again. But D-Brand did offer.
Okay, so let's review the whole thing. This is what happened, guys. Let me explain what happened. So Bob and Diana had a fight. Bob wanted to tell Diana sorry, but Diana wasn't available, or something happened. Like, Diana wasn't okay. Bob wanted to send a message to Diana, but Diana wasn't able to receive the message. So Diana concluded that, oh, this asshole, he doesn't care at all. So for whatever reason, Diana didn't receive the message, right? So then Diana went to Alex and told him about the problem, and then Alex went and told all of their friends about the problem, and now everyone is against Bob. Did I say Bob the first time? I forgot the names. That's basically what happened here. Like, whew, I'm not trying to excuse LMG for their mistakes. All I'm saying that this should not have blown up after to this proportion. Like, it could have been handled way better. You guys agree? Like, how many of you guys agree? But comment down below if you agree with me. Like, I think this is like a perfect analogy of the situation here, because this kind of thing is all too common. It happens all the time, even like in like friendships and relationships. Oh my god. I'm just laughing right now. Like, and this video is pretty cool. I love it. I love that they're making a change. I'm kind of impartial of them slowing down, but if they have to, sure. I just wish that they don't slow down on the entertaining videos, because that's what I'm here for. This is why I watch Linus Tech Tips, not the technical videos. I don't care about those. There's so many sources for technical videos these days. It's not just Linus Tech Tips that produces them, and you don't even really need to watch a video. You can just go search the internet, right? Like, or go to forums, or like see a lot of results for it. So that's what I think. This situation is kind of weird. This didn't need to happen, is what I think, guys. And I don't want to blame Billet Labs or Gamers Nexus again, but I think they do have a fault in this. Like, if they just reconfirmed instead of, or actually, if Billet Labs just reconfirmed instead of like going to some other news outlet, and if Gamers Nexus just also again reconfirmed if this is what actually happened, like the tone of the video, they still would have released the video for sure. Like, Gamers Nexus for sure would have still released a video, but the tone would have been different. The way the community handled it would have been different, and it wouldn't have enabled the trolls, because this is exactly what's happened. Like, that video that Gamers Nexus did pretty much enabled the trolls. Like, and not just trolls, like people that hate Linus. Like, there are people that hate Linus Tech Tips. Because not everyone loves Linus Tech Tips. Like, there are haters out there that really want to take them down. So I'm pretty sure that really enabled them. Man, this is so funny. But anyway, that's my own personal opinion. You think whatever you want. Give Linus a like, subscribe. I'll see you again in the next video. Bye bye. Otskero.